know there were girls my age doing harder things, pulling in the snow, and they just strengthened my testimony so much of the pioneers. I know how bad it hurt, and I just think about them without shoes and suffering way worse than me, and it kind of made me emotional because I'm just experiencing a sliver of what they did.
There's just mud up to your knees and you were pulling all the carts. I think it's because they weren't doing it for themselves. They knew there was something higher. They wanted to be sealed in the temple. They wanted the blessings that come with the priesthood.
They left because they knew the church was true. They knew Christ. They wanted to get sealed. They wanted to be with each other for eternity.
I can't even begin to imagine what they went through. They suffered so much, and I'm so grateful for that.
If you just think about them doing it while they were cold and starving and they had to leave their homes and go on their own, and I just think it's really inspiring how they did that with just their faith leading them, with not knowing how it's going to end up or what's going to happen. They just had their faith that kept moving them to their destination.
So we were the fourth or fifth handcart to go across. We saw a few people that would get down in the bottom of it struggling to get back out. So I had the feeling that if we went through with a lot of momentum, that we could get through it and not get stuck in the bottom. So I turned to my Trek family and said, all right, momentum is the key here. Let's go plowing through this thing as fast as we can. We did exactly that. We went right through the bog, but only half of our cart made it out. The other half stayed in the bog as the cart had split in half. So we kept the wheels and the axle, and then the basket that we were actually pulling with all of our buckets stayed down in the mud. We had to carry buckets for a ways. We ended up having the cart fixed, but it gave us a little bit of a taste of adventure and maybe what some of the pioneers went through.
We're going to the mountains of Ephraim to dwell. Oh Babylon, we bid thee farewell. We're going to the mountains of Ephraim to dwell.
The boys kind of stood on one side and the girls stood on one side, and there wasn't much dancing going on, if you know what I'm saying. All right, that ain't happening tonight. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now right, put your right hands in the middle. Now to the left. Set, go.
And as you see that trail go up and over, to the left of the Wind River Mountains, about 12 miles from here, is in fact Rocky Ridge.
Be thou my wisdom, and thou my true word.
So I woke up this morning and I had 6 blisters, and I was like, I think I'll be okay, I feel I'll be okay. And we kept walking and my feet were just hurting so bad. I knew there was no way I would be able to keep walking without a blessing. We went out into the sagebrush and my bishop and a member of my bishopric and my dad gave me a blessing. It was kind of crazy because literally immediately after, when I started walking back to camp, I couldn't feel my toes. I couldn't feel pain or anything. It was just like, they were numb. It was kind of cool.
The women's pool is without the young men. I don't know, if I were a pioneer, I honestly don't think I could do it, because when they did it, they didn't really have an end in sight.
My King of heaven, my victory won. May I reach heaven's joys, oh bright heaven's sun. Heart of my own heart, whatever befall, still be my vision, oh ruler of all.
It kind of just felt like going up a flight of stairs.
Couldn't be there sometimes, and they had to be able to fill in that gap and be able to pull through and take care of the kids and take care of the carts when the guys weren't there.
If I didn't have any young men in my family and it was just the woman pulling the cart, the pull was actually harder than I thought it would be, so trying to do that for miles and miles ahead would have been very distressing.
You're all sharing a trial together, and everyone knows exactly what you've been through because they've done the exact same thing, walking right alongside with you. It's kind of like how Jesus does that with every single thing you do in your life. He's been through every single trial that you've been through and more.
I'm grateful that I was born now and not during pioneer time, because I couldn't really even imagine how hard that must have been through cold weather or super hot weather, and walking hundreds and hundreds of miles just to get to that one place where you're going to be able to be happy and for the rest of your lives.
Down, dee, down, da, down, da, down, 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 dee, down, da, down, down, dee, down, da, down, da, down, 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 dee, down, da, down.
Something happened to my knee, and so my kneecap popped out of place and went on the side of my leg here. But it was just it was hurting so bad, and I was like, I gotta do something. So I extended my leg and kind of pushed up here and was able to push it back in place. It's just kind of crazy thinking, this is one day or the second day doing this, and it's already been hard for everyone and been hard for me. And that's just one injury I had after 2 days. And that was after 5 hours of hiking or whatever. And the pioneers, they did this every day for months.
Down, dee, down, da, down, da, down, 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 dee, down, da, down, down, dee, down, da, down, da.
I'm thankful that I don't have to experience that day in and day out, that I get to go home or be at my home during the day, sleep in my bed at night. It's just, we have a much, much better life thanks to them,
So not being a member of the church, it's put me in this spot where I haven't had this in my life, and it's crazy how I haven't, because it brings this happiness to you that it's indescribable. It's this feeling that you get, just talking about the church. For me, even not being a member, just talking about it, I get excited. It's really something that once you have and you've seen, you can't deny it. It's beautiful.
had to use my charger for my phone. I forgot my belt. I don't have my wife here.
They went up to Martin's Cove. They stayed there for 4 days and 5 nights until the storm broke, and then they had to head for Utah.
We're eating Twinkies every night. Pioneers didn't have Twinkies. They had shoe leather and bugs and whatever they could eat. I came here, that was a 6-hour drive. I'm not gonna come here for half the Trek experience, you know what I mean? So I took that grasshopper, I put myself in the mindset, I'm a starving pioneer, and I gobbled that thing up so quick. Did not taste good, but I think I got to know what they felt like.
When we went to conference, Brigham Young went up and stated that the 2 handcart companies were trapped in the middle of Wyoming. And right then, right there, he started calling out names.
He put together a rescue team of 50 men, including me and my father.
Me and my father left 2 days later.
Me and my best friends, David Kimball, Alan Huntington, and George Grant.
We helped the group of 500 men and women, kids and adults alike.
The water was freezing temperatures with ice on top, and it was unbearable.
It was about -6 degrees when we came out here.
And it just really put everything in a perspective of how hard it really was, you know, because you always hear about it, but then when you're actually out here and you're doing it, it's a great experience, and it really puts it all into perspective of how much they really had to sacrifice.
So the reason I decided to bring this piano was it brings a bit of music and inspiration to the trail and trek. When you're out here in Wyoming and it's the middle of nowhere, it's a little bit nice to have a little bit of a tune to keep you going.
It's crazy how just taking a couple steps forward can change the spirit so much. How quiet everyone was just made such a difference. And Evan, just walking through there, and sitting there thinking about what happened in there and why this land is so special, it's hard not to get emotional.
So on the second day, I got severe heat exhaustion, and they ended up having to extract me. And when I did, I was really, really sad, and I'm super new, and all the girls from my work started surrounding me and just started hugging me. And I felt like it was a blessing that I had the heat exhaustion, because I was able to feel the love from everybody.
You're always thinking about everything else except your phone at this point, because you don't have your phone. I've grown to have this amazing family after this trek.
Some of these kids are like, I can't do it, and then 5 miles later I'm seeing them and they're pushing through, and I really feel like 60%, maybe 70% of hard things is all in your mind.
My personal value and perspective on the temples of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, their value has just been increased dramatically. Like I want to go home today and just go straight to the temple. I feel like I take that so much for granted.
My favorite part about Trek was actually the testimony meeting that we had. Just everyone felt comfortable with each other and was willing to share just about everything about their life, and just really brought the spirit.
The preparation that has gone over time has been seamless for our team here, but I can't imagine going out and forging our way, finding fruits and berries or animals to have to kill and prepare that night. We have the luxury of being here, refrigerated trucks and plenty of trucks and trailers with air conditioning.
It was actually a good experience. I didn't think I would say that, but I kind of liked having blisters because it made it a more pioneer experience.
how much respect we deserve to show to them, because without them we wouldn't be here today, being able to even experience a super watered down version of what they did.
It was really hard for me to try to focus on spiritual because we've been asked to focus on the physical side of things, and so anytime there was a vignette or something where I thought, oh, I might learn something here, it was more like, okay, who's got problems? Where's your water bottle? And then last night, for the first time, I was able to sit down and hear the kids bear their testimony. If I can help them have a good experience, then it's worth it.
No matter how big, small, weak, strong you are, if you have faith, you can do anything.
Yeah, it's been fun, but it's also been a lot of hard work and definitely been worth it. And definitely you're my testimony, just looking back and seeing all those people who are willing to do something hard.
Now, I bear testimony that this is all based on the atonement and our Savior, and so much of what He does for us and has done for us. Say that in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.